Today, we are talking about reasons why women should strength train. And this topic is very near and dear to my heart, as I am a huge promoter of strength training throughout a woman's lifespan. And I try to discuss that with a lot of the clients that I see here and friends and family in the community. So if you're familiar with me, you know I talk about this a lot. So I love this topic, and that it would be really great for us to talk about it here, so that if you are a woman who's watching and are fearful of weight training or think weight training is scary, only for bodybuilders, only for men, only for really fit people, I want to show you that you, in fact, are not right in saying that, because everybody is capable of strength training, and especially as a woman, you should definitely be strength training. So I'm going to go over 6 particular reasons why women should strength train, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to get into it at the end of this discussion if you're not familiar or are not already strength training of some kind. So one of, I think, the really common things that we hear about frequently with strength training is that we know it gets your body healthy by also reducing body fat. So strength training is one of the ways that you will hear or read is a great way to reduce fat throughout the body if that's one of your goals. Weight training and lifting will build lean muscle mass, which then increases your metabolism. Therefore, a higher metabolism means that you'll burn more calories and you'll have less fat. So a study found that the average woman who strength trains even just 2 to 3 times a week will gain 2 pounds of muscle and lose 3 pounds of fat. So we want to replace fat with muscle in our bodies for lots of great reasons, which I'm going to go over more here in a second. But reducing body fat, if that's your goal of strength training, we know that that can be a really awesome benefit, and then it will have the lasting effects on your metabolism and help you burn more calories and lean out. So first thing, great thing to strength train to reduce your body fat. Another benefit of strength training is it will burn more calories, kind of like we talked about. You get a higher metabolism, you will then in fact burn more calories. And it's research has shown that kind of for each pound of muscle you gain, okay, you can burn up to about 35 to 50 more calories a day just by having more muscle on your body, okay? So we're not going to complain about reducing body fat to get healthier and burning more calories so you can stay healthy in your fitness and weight loss journey if those are your goals. So top 2 reasons that we hear commonly are those. One of the things that I like to teach clients here that I don't think a lot of us give our bodies enough credit for is strength training makes day-to-day tasks easier, okay? Think about how much, I'll just take a younger population. So think about as a new mom, how much lifting you're doing. You're lifting the baby. You're lifting the baby in the car seat. You're lifting the diaper bag, the stroller, lots and lots and lots of heavier objects that you are having to maneuver day to day. If your body's not strong enough to do those tasks, it can be really difficult and really tiring on a new mom especially. So building strength can help make those tasks easier. Same thing goes for if we are kind of in our middle to later stages of life. We are doing, day-to-day tasks sometimes as easy as like getting up and out of a chair. That's a simple activity, but that can be really hard for some women if they don't have the strength enough built up in their, especially lower body, to help get themselves up out of a chair. And so even the day-to-day things, in our middle to late stages of life can become really difficult because we don't have the strength to do it. Kind of throughout the lifespan, think about yard work. That's a really popular thing this time of year. Since it's getting nicer outside, yard work. There's a lot of lifting, carrying, pushing, pulling motions that you have to do with yard work. And no matter how old you are, that can be, or even how young you are, that can be really difficult on the body. So strength training, even in your 20s, all the way up to your 90s and beyond, anytime through those, through the lifespan, you need a certain amount of strength to do the day-to-day tasks that your body is required to do. So strength training can make all of that easier. So I tell women, I've got patients of mine who come in and they're 90, and I tell them, you are not too old to start strength training. And that's exactly why. Same thing goes like as the younger population. You're never too young to start a strength training program either. So it's all on the opposite total ends of the spectrum there. The other thing, so this would be the fourth thing that strength training is good for, is to help you stay motivated. If you are new into a fitness journey, or you're even in your fitness journey, it can be really, really motivating to start seeing results as you strength train. So maybe you just started with a simple body weight exercise, and now all of a sudden you're putting 5-pound weights in your hands, or you're adding 10 pounds or even more weights as you continue to build strength over time. It can make consistency with exercise better. It can also just continue to motivate you to keep working at it because you're seeing those changes. You know, so I see this all the time at the gym I go to too. It's like when a woman can do a unmodified push-up for the first time, there's so much celebration around that. It's in myself, I've been able to see it too, with even being able to do more reps, heavier weights as I get stronger, and it definitely keeps you going. So there's a lot of good motivational benefits to strength training, and then also keeping up with consistency with exercise. One of the things I think is really important to talk about is as we go through our lifespan as women, is that we are, and men are as at risk as well, but for osteoporosis. Women tend to be more at risk, and strength training can help increase your bone density and even prevent osteoporosis. So as younger women, we should be incorporating strength training for all the benefits I said before, but also to then prevent changes in bone density as we get older. Women who have osteopenia or osteoporosis should still start weight training and strength training to then try to improve bone density and even sometimes reverse osteopenia or things like that. So osteoporosis affects about 10 million Americans, and 80% of those are women. So that's another really important thing to note when we're talking about strength training, is that we are at risk as women for osteoporosis, and we need to make sure that we are doing, I mean, there's a lot that goes into osteoporosis, but strength training is one of the things that we know that can help improve bone density, keep bone density, and prevent osteopenia and osteoporosis as much as possible. So again, that's why I say you're never too young or too old to start strength training. Even if you've been diagnosed with osteoporosis, there are ways that you can get into a strength training regimen to then help your body minimize the effects of the osteoporosis and even sometimes reverse some of it, okay? So it reduces risk of osteoporosis. Number 6, the last one that I want to talk about with strength training is probably one of my personal favorite things that strength training does, and is it just makes you feel great. Honestly, it just makes you feel good. It increases your energy, it helps your sleep patterns out, and it's just empowering. I mean, to get your body into positions and to weight it up in ways and load it up in ways that you never thought you could before, it is so empowering to say, man, look what I just did. Or how cool is it that I can do this exercise and I've never been able to do it? Or look at how far I'm progressing in my strength over time. So I think strength training is one of those things that just makes you feel really, really, really good about yourself. And then of course you get the sleep benefits, the energy benefits, and that's just recipe for a lot of positivity in your life. But so you're watching this and you're like, that's great, Jamie, but I don't know how to strength train. I've never strength trained before. What do I do? Awesome question. So I'm going to answer that. What I would suggest is, if you are new to strength training, is just start with very simple body weight exercises. Okay. So you can find a lot out on the internet nowadays. So if you are just trying to do some things on your own and you find some exercises that you think might be good for you, start with very unweighted positions, no added resistance, and just use your body weight. Start there. Okay. The next step would be that if you want to progress from body weight exercises, that you just start with really, really light weights and light resistance and build up over time. Lower reps can be okay. Less weight can be okay. You need to start out and get a baseline of health and fitness and strength laid, and then move up from there. So focus on body weight exercises first, and then build up to light weights and resistance from there. The other thing that I encourage women to start off doing when they're strength training is, instead of saying, okay, well, I really want to be able to squat holding 20 pounds. Okay, great. That's a good long-term goal if you've never done a squat before. But really focus, when you start simple exercises, on your form, making sure that you're doing them correctly and safely. And then as you build up your weights over time, continue to make sure that you're doing them with correct form and good safety. Okay. And then again, once you've got that foundation of good form, good movements, then you can build up on the weights and resistance. I recommend starting a weight training program or strength training program of any kind about 2 to 3 days a week to begin with. That way your body gets a day of rest, or a couple days of rest in between your strength training days, and then you can continue to build up over time. So you don't need to strength train every day to start off with.